Abby, that's awesome. There's the enthusiasm, Catherine. We're all ready to go red. 16 seconds.
Hi, I'm Star Jones, National Volunteer of the American Heart Association. Ladies, I want you to listen up. Cardiovascular disease is not just an old white dude's disease. Heart disease and stroke can affect any woman at any age. That's why it's vitally important for all women to take charge of and prioritize our own heart health. And let's encourage our mothers and our daughters and our sisters and girlfriends to do the same. Go Red for Women empowers women to get healthy because together there's nothing women can't achieve.
Hi, I'm Kelly Norton, Director of Administration, West Michigan and Upper Peninsula with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. I have been so honored to serve as the West Michigan Go Red for Women Chair this year. My why? My husband, my kids, my grandchildren, my friends and family, my work family. They are all my why. I want to personally thank each of you for joining us here today and for supporting the movement to end heart disease and stroke for all women in West Michigan. Why are we gathered here today? Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women, claiming the lives of 1 out of 3 women, more than all forms of cancer combined. Women of any age or any race can be affected by heart disease. Let's talk about choices. We face them every day. Some choices aren't important, while others are life changing. But what if the seemingly unimportant choices were the ones that mattered? Like choosing to take the stairs, not the elevator, opting for baked instead of fried. What if these choices influenced whether you were the 1 in every 3 women to die of heart disease this year? Choosing to ignore your heart health might not seem life changing today, but women are dying of cardiovascular disease at a rate of almost 1 every 80 seconds. Luckily, this #1 killer is largely preventable. We simply have to choose to act. Go Red for Women is a national movement that provides women with information on healthy eating, exercise, and risk factor reduction, such as tobacco cessation, weight management, blood pressure control, and blood cholesterol management. What started 17 years ago has since grown into a vibrant national movement, and as a result, mortality rates for women since this initiative has declined. We're here to make sure that this improvement continues and changes the future for the next generation of women. Go Red for Women is driven by an incredible team of volunteer leaders in our community. I would like to personally thank the 2021 Go Red Executive Leadership Team for their contribution of time, energy, and passion to this mission. We also have Circle of Red and Core Vitae Giving Society members with us here today. These individuals make an annual personal investment to the Go Red for Women movement and are truly making a difference for women's health in Michigan. Today's program centers on where we have been and where we are going. Women's history is full of trailblazers. Susan B. Anthony, Sojourner Truth, Amelia Earhart, and Rosa Parks and numerous other women who came before us. We also have a trailblazer in cardiac research joining us today, Dr. Michelle Albert. The theme this year is Women Make History Again. I'm honored to be here today and want to thank all of the many volunteers, the donors, and sponsors who worked so hard to make today a success. Now, watch me go red. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. And thank you so much for your patience. I'm Morgan Poole, lifestyle reporter for WIT TV8 and WOTV for Women. And you all know our first choice would have been to be with you in a room full of red. However, we are still incredibly honored to be with you today to enjoy the Grand Rapids Go Red for Women digital experience.
Woo, woo, woo. And I'm Todd Herring. I'm a member of the board of AHA West Michigan and also the co-founder of Common Notice. And guys, I'm excited that you guys are all here too, because more men need to learn about heart disease. It's the #1 risk for all the women in your life.
That is absolutely right, Todd. And let's be honest, we have a chance to wear our red and to share the power of going red. So get ready, everyone. We have an inspiring keynote speaker today and a rare chance to be with an AHA chef. And I don't know about you, Todd, and everyone who's joining us, but I think this right here beats a regular Zoom meeting all day long. Am I right?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's kick off with some housekeeping. So everyone, you know this is a digital experience, so we hope you have your phone nearby. You can make a gift at any time throughout our program by texting to 41444, and you'll want to enter the phrase GR Go Red, that's GR Go Red, with no spaces, all in one word to make a gift at any time. And we'll also have an open your heart opportunity to make an impact later in the program. Also, viewing this event in the gallery will give you the best presentation. And that button, which is called the gallery view button, is located near the top right of your screen. And lastly, be sure to open your chat box if you haven't already, because we'd love to have you share your comments and shout outs throughout the program. And you can look for that chat icon on the bottom of your screen and click on it to open the chat box. And this is just a screen share of the housekeeping, just in case you may have missed anything.
We have set a fundraising goal this afternoon because we know the power of giving together. Whether great or small, it makes a powerful difference. And West Michigan has always been such a generous community. Look at that. We're already over $4,000 for today's Go Red. It's amazing. Keep it up. Keep sending in your donations. Remember, you can text the number 41444. That's 41 with 3 4s after it, and enter GR Go Red in order to make a contribution at any time. So let's watch that thermometer keep going up today and see how you can actually make a difference. And don't worry, we'll remind you of where to text throughout the program. Now, I want to give a special thank you to our sponsors for supporting the work to build healthier lives for women in West Michigan. CVS is our national sponsor, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Meyer, Priority Health, Spectrum Health, and Have Faith and Heart is locally supported by Metro Health, University of Michigan Health, and the Metro Health Hospital Foundation.
Yes, and our media sponsors are 100.5 The River, Mix 95.7, WOTV for Women, and Women's Lifestyle Magazine. And thank you also to our Beyond the Table sponsors and silent auction donors who have helped make this event possible. Everyone, let's give them all a big virtual round of applause. Woo!
Virtual clapping.
Yes.
So you don't get it into the microphone. All right, let's talk about the auction because it's amazing. There we go. I love that little clapping sound effect. All right, the silent auction, you guys got to check it out. You got to go to the website because there are so many amazing things that are on it that are available. There's a brand new kayak and paddle set with kayak equipment, dinner out at Righteous Cuisine, plus so much more that you can do. That's right. There's the CPR anytime kits and virtual training from the Wyoming Fire Department. There's a whole bunch of really amazing things on that site. So go check it out now and don't get outbid. Don't let anybody push you around.
Don't do it. Oh, and look at this. Vera Bradley Grand Weekend Traveler bag. That is calling my name.
I'd rock that.
I love that. And it includes a traveler bag, small cosmetic bag, and a mini Kate Spade makeup bag. That is lovely, ladies. Am I right? And look at this. This is so much fun. Package 25, a fitness party for 10. I love that. It's from Deal Aerial Fitness. Who else is looking at this? Because this is seriously amazing.
I
Oh,
would get hurt. Get hurt doing that.
but it is amazing. So be sure to
It is
place
good.
your bids in now until Monday. You have until noon, so be sure to visit heart.org/Grand Rapids Go Red to get those packages.
And while it's fun to think about the auction, we also know that during these challenging times, the work of the American Heart Association has never been more needed or urgent.
That is right. And the AHA is committed to forging ahead because cardiovascular disease and stroke has not stopped due to COVID 19. And as a matter of fact, even during these challenging times, heart disease remains the number one cause of death for women, claiming the lives of 1 out of 3 women. And we know, of course, because of the ongoing pandemic, stroke and heart disease survivors are more vulnerable than ever. And this is why, everyone, we're coming together today to be bold, to fight for healthier choices, and to live fierce. We are coming together today to change history again. And of course, we know that it's been a very, very tough year since we've last met. And together, medical professionals, frontline workers, teachers, restaurants, churches, and even distilleries have banded together to fight something we hope to never see, COVID 19.
We'd like to take a minute here to honor those who have been working tirelessly to care for us all. If you can, type into the chat box the names of your colleagues, family, and friends who stepped up to make a difference in the fight against COVID 19. And we're going to read some of these names out loud. Remember, when you write in the chat, select all panelists and attendees and let everyone see who you're honoring.
Absolutely. Leslie, Matthew, Wilmore, Lauren, Beth, thank you so much.
Thank you for your commitment to keeping our community safe.
Absolutely. Allison, Rachel, Christine. Yes, keep them rolling in. Camilla, Alyssa, Kelly.
Dr.
Thank
Chris
you.
Chambers.
Renee.
Dr. Umar Farouk.
We thank you all so much. Every single staff member at Mercy's Health. That's right, Dr. Karen.
Absolutely.
Love that. Kudos to you all.
To the Meyer store teams.
Dr. Laurie. Yes, be sure that your chat box setting is to all panelists and attendees so everyone can see. This is awesome. Rima, thank you so much. Thank you all so much for sharing. Really appreciate it. All righty, so we'd also love to see your smiling faces. I have to ask that golden question. Are you wearing red? If you are, be sure to share your pictures. And who's the fashionista out there? Because we know we have a lot of you watching right now. Dawn, we know you're in your red. Erin, we know you are too. Who else? And also, how many of you have your furry friends joining us? Are they wearing red? And for all the guys out there, we're not forgetting about you. Do you have a red tie on out there? We know Todd does. And we know some of you out there do too. So don't be shy. Be sure to get your selfies in and share them to social media by using the hashtag Grand Rapids Go Red. And we're going to grab all of your photos and make a fun event collage on our AHA Michigan Facebook page later on.
We also know that there are many women who have joined us today that are fighting a health battle right now. We want to honor you and the many heart and stroke fighters who have joined us here today. Let's remember loved ones that we have lost to cardiovascular disease and stroke. We hope that you find encouragement and strength by being here today. And now, sponsored by Spectrum Health, let's take a look at our tribute wall featuring our survivors and those we have lost.
Wow, that was really inspiring and heartwarming. And I recognize some of the strong women that were featured on that tribute wall. So that was very beautiful. And focusing on prevention and getting healthy during these challenging times is so, so important. So let's hear some important heart and brain health messages from cardiologist Dr. Laura Franey from Spectrum Health.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jennifer Pasqua, Lead Community Relations at Spectrum Health, and I'm joined by Dr. Laura Franey, cardiologist specializing in advanced cardiovascular imaging at Spectrum Health. Good afternoon, doctor. How are you today?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Well, absolutely. Obviously, this luncheon focuses in on heart health, and we have heard it time and time again. Cardiovascular disease claims the lives of 1 in 3 women. So can we bring it back here to West Michigan? What do those numbers look like?
So West Michigan trends with the national statistics. Again, cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women, more so than all cancers combined, as you said, claiming the lives in 1 of 3 women across the state. So highly prevalent and very relevant to our.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jennifer Pasqua, Lead Community Relations at Spectrum Health, and I'm joined by Dr. Laura Franey, cardiologist specializing in advanced cardiovascular imaging at Spectrum Health. Good afternoon, doctor. How are you today?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Well, absolutely. Obviously, this luncheon focuses in on heart health, and we have heard it time and time again. Cardiovascular disease claims the lives of 1 in 3 women. So can we bring it back here to West Michigan? What do those numbers look like?
So West Michigan trends with the national statistics. Again, cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women, more so than all cancers combined, as you said, claiming the lives in 1 of 3 women across the state. So highly prevalent and very relevant to our population.
So while sharing the facts really key to serving as a catalyst to change and improve lives, what else can we as women do to really take charge of our own health?
That's a great question. And there are several things that we can do. The first, just being aware that this disease is the #1 killer of women, and how we can take measures to improve our own lifestyle to bring down our own personal risk. So we talk a lot about knowing your numbers. So things that you should speak about with your own personal physician are numbers as they may relate to your cardiovascular health. So things like cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugars, body mass index.
Are there certain communities where we're seeing the need for the topic of heart health to be a continuous conversation?
Research has shown that the disease is just as prevalent as in men and may have an increased mortality as compared to our male counterparts. But within the female population, women of color, specifically Hispanics and Blacks, have a very high incidence of not just heart disease, but risk factors that predispose them to heart disease. So it's very important to increase awareness in these populations specifically.
Well, to be realistic, for some, access to gaining that critical resource can be a barrier. What's being done to reach out to all women?
So a lot of it is being done through educational programs with partnerships with our hospital systems like Spectrum Health and with the American Heart Association. So things like the Go Red for Women luncheon and various community events, just bringing awareness of heart disease to the general community. We also are trying to start education at a young age. So the American Heart Association has partnered with close to 200 schools to teach kids about heart health and raise money for the American Heart Association and continue to spread the word about how important this disease is and how we can continue to mitigate our risk factors.
Well, Dr. Franey, thank you so much for taking the time this afternoon. We know that you are so busy with what you're doing, and we thank you for all of your efforts, and we appreciate the tips and the word of advice that you've provided for us this afternoon.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you, Dr. Franey and Jennifer. When the world needed the American Heart Association's science, donors made all the difference in the world. The AHA was able to respond to the pandemic by establishing a $2.5 million rapid research fund to better understand COVID 19. They launched a free COVID 19 data registry for hospitals across the US to help treat current and future COVID patients. And they focused on communities of need, improving access to care, providing proper nourishment, and safe spaces to keep kids healthy and active.
Yes, but we know the work is not over. There is much more to do because women continue to be disproportionately affected by heart diseases and stroke. And new research shows heart attacks are on the rise in younger women, and studies also show there has been a sharp decrease in awareness. More than half of African American women have heart disease, almost twice the risk of stroke than Caucasians, and they are more likely to die at an earlier age when compared to women of other ethnicities. And on average, Hispanic women are likely to develop heart disease 10 years earlier than non Hispanics. And the pandemic has revealed the harsh realities of disparities in health, but the AHA is leading the way to close these gaps.
And what is the AHA impact locally? Well, the AHA is providing the Have Faith in Heart initiative, working with African American and Hispanic churches across Southwest Michigan to reduce heart disease and stroke. The program is currently funded by Metro Health University of Michigan Health and the Metro Health Foundation. The AHA is working to control blood pressure in underserved communities through local clinics and federally qualified health centers. And let's not forget our youth. The AHA is in over 180 West Michigan schools, serving nearly 72,000 children and building healthier hearts.
Yes. And now remember, everyone will have a special Open Your Heart moment later in the program, and we'll also have some fun and watch that thermometer rise.
Now we're excited to bring you a special guest, locally sponsored Meyer. For over 25 years, Chef Carol Ritchie has been a recipe developer and national volunteer spokesperson for the American Heart Association cookbooks. A traveling cooking instructor, she's the host of a cooking show, Cookin' with Carol, and a 2001 James Beard Award nominee. She's appeared on PBS, QVC, and Cooking Live on the Food Network. Chef Carol, take it away.
Hi, I'm Carol Ritchie. I'm one of the recipe developers and a national volunteer spokesperson for the American Heart Association cookbooks. Today we have delicious grilled shrimp with salsa verde. It is from the Diabetes and Heart Healthy Meals from the American Heart Association and the American Diabetes Association. It's such a delightful, fresh recipe, easy to do, and I'll show you how it is. So here we go. We have shrimp that are peeled and deveined. And for the marinade, you just add a little vegetable oil, lemon juice, and garlic. You can chop your garlic or grate your garlic like I'm doing here. Really helps to make it nice and tender and delicious. All right. This gets covered and put into the refrigerator for about 10 minutes. It doesn't take long to marinate because it's so delicate in texture. So here we go. I put mine on wooden skewers that have been soaked for 30 minutes in cold water. This will just help them to come off the grill easy. And I will be serving these from the grill, so that'll be nice. So there we go. It only takes about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Oh, here we go. So for the sauce, super simple. We have green onions. We have fresh cilantro, fresh mint, capers, which are a little salty, and pickly in flavor. So you don't need a lot. We're adding jalapeno and a little bit of non-fat plain yogurt, water, the rest of the lemon juice, and the rest of the oil that's in the recipe. It's amazing how that little bit of yogurt just really heightens the flavor and helps the sauce to flow over the ingredients. So delicious. I love it. Okay, so I will take the food processor and just pulse it a bit. break it up. And then I'll let it run. I'll definitely need to scrape this down once or twice. All right, there we go. Let's check our shrimp and see how it's doing. Oh boy, look at that. See how easy it is to turn when you have it on a skewer? Get the family involved. There we go. I'm going to take this out of the food processor. Here's a little tip. When you have the blade in there, a little trick you can do is just take it off the base. You can put your finger right there to hold the blade in, and then you can just scrape around it. We had fresh ingredients in this little container, so I'm just going to put a little bit in here. So that's a neat little tip. There's so many cooks tips in all of our cookbooks. So much fun to do. Alrighty. Beautiful. It's making my mouth water. Well, as you can see, I want to show you something here. This kebab is nicely done. You can tell because the shrimp is curled, it is opaque, it's turned pink. This, as you can see, has a little bit of gray tint to it, and it's a little translucent. So that one's not quite done yet. So I'll put the sauce in the one that is finished so that you can at least see what it's going to look like. And oh, I hope your mouth is watering as much as mine is right now. Look at how pretty. What a special night to have a little date night with your sweetheart or your loved one or a family member and prepare this meal. So there you have it, the delicious grilled shrimp with a mint salsa verde. It is from the Diabetes and Heart Healthy Meals for Two cookbook from the American Heart Association and the American Diabetes Association. I'm Carol Ritchie, and I'm so honored to be with you here today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope all of your heart-healthy dreams come true.
All right. Thanks, Chef Carol, for sharing those quick tips on healthy eating. And thanks again to Meyer for the sponsorship of that segment. Are you looking for ways to add color to your diet? Well, Meyer recommends fresh fruits and vegetables to help build a variety of heart-healthy meal options.
That sounds delicious. All right, we're going to switch screens around here in just a minute and change things back to the program. But have you all ever looked at the American Heart Association's website for recipes? If you haven't, please be sure to go to heart.org for numerous recipes, including some of Chef Carol's inspirations. So good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. I mean, I can't, because we don't really go out for dinner too much. It's like every night you have to figure out what to do, and so it's a good go-to at the to get some healthy ideas and recipes at heart.org.
Absolutely. And this is the time to try new things.
Absolutely,
Yes.
it is.
All right, everyone. So now we're going to listen to a very personal story and a special story of a local survivor and frontline hero that is living fierce. Kaylee Snell is an EMT from Muskegon who works to save lives in one of our most vulnerable communities that is some of the highest rates of stroke and heart attack in West Michigan. And it's one of our local communities that has been hit hardest with COVID-19. So let's hear her story.
My mom, she was a nurse. She was very, very active in the community. My mom was obsessed with her girls. She was the center of our family. Couldn't slow her down, ever. She was going, going, going all the time.
Mary Ferrier was my wife of 32 years. Total giver, was always involved with giving back wherever she could, even during her sickest times.
My mom was diagnosed in her early 30s with AFib when she was pregnant. They thought it would go away with time after she had the baby, but it did not. And then it progressed into other things. By 48, she had an LVAD placed in Grand Rapids while she was waiting for a heart transplant. She didn't make it to transplant. We ended up moving to Wisconsin with her to wait at the University of Wisconsin, and she developed an infection due to her PICC line, her LVAD, and it progressed into sepsis very quickly. Was quite the fighter, though, right up to the very end. Just the day before she passed, she had a alphabet chart she communicated with us, and she spelled out FIGHT, and she fought right to the end.
That's what Mary pushed on for, was her children and grandchildren. She never gave up hope.
My mother was very active in Go Red for Women. She really enjoyed going to the luncheons and the dinners, and it was right up her alley to bring awareness to women's heart disease and the fight she faced and so many other women were facing too.
She was everything to me. We had 3 children together, 2 boys and 1 girl. And my daughter, unfortunately, Kaylee, has the same genetic trait that my wife did, which we didn't find out right away. It was actually after Mary had passed.
December 2019, my uncle calls me on the phone. He said I was diagnosed with a gene called LMNA. It causes cardiomyopathy, which is enlarging of your heart ventricles, and it causes arrhythmias. So I went to Spectrum Medical Genetics, and they did a blood draw. It came back that I was also positive for the LMNA gene. My uncle was positive for the gene. His daughter is positive for the gene. I'm positive for the gene, and my oldest daughter, Evelyn, is positive for the gene as well.
The day Kaylee had up to date her scariest episode was a Saturday afternoon. We were going to start a fire and just hang out with the family. She had been telling me that day that she hadn't been feeling very well. She ended up calling some friends from work, asking them, hey, can you maybe run a few tests, come by and do a few tests? And they said, you need to get into the hospital right now. It was a big rush right from then, and the doctors were kind of like, holy crap, she's in this, basically a heart attack right now. It was a really scary night for us.
Before my mother was involved with Go Red for Women with the American Heart Association, I had never given women's heart health or heart health in general a second thought. It really brought it to the forefront for me, seeing other people at the luncheons, at the meetings, that it was touching people I knew. It was touching everybody around me. Bringing this awareness, bringing research, developing cures, developing treatment, preventative care. It's hopefully changing people's lives for the better every day, including my own.
I didn't get there with my wife, but if I can get there with my daughter and granddaughters, I'm just a small piece, and hopefully it makes an impact in somebody's heart.
Your diagnosis isn't the end, and it doesn't have to define you. It's just a part of who you are now. Things don't always go in a straight line. Things don't always get better. Sometimes they get worse before they get better, but giving up just isn't an option. I became a paramedic 4 years ago. My mother, she had really pushed me towards the medical field. Every day coming into work with COVID-19, it's changed everything day to day. We wear surgical masks all day, 12 hours a day from the time we punch in to the time we punch out. We spend a lot of time wiping down equipment, wiping down our cots, our trucks itself. A lot of surgical masks. We wear N95s as well now on every patient contact underneath our surgical mask. Probably 5 or 6 calls a day for COVID-19 possible patients. I know I've had at least a handful of confirmed positive patients. When I heard about COVID-19 coming to Michigan, especially West Michigan area, I was concerned. I worry about my heart. My daughter as well with her heart condition. I worry about bringing home COVID-19 to my kids. I'm stripping out of my uniform in my garage. and immediately throwing it into the washer when I get home. I don't bring my boots in the house. I always make sure I have my masks on. I'm always in the appropriate PPE whenever I make patient contact.
What I'd like to share about this whole COVID situation is please don't get complacent. Please follow the guidelines of the best things we have right now. Please make sure that you recognize the paramedics and the first responders, as well as the other people in the community that are helping us work our way through this challenge. They're giving up a lot, putting themselves at risk to make sure we have access to the care to support our families.
Wow. Just watching that and looking at that text at the end, that was just so powerful. And can you imagine just getting a diagnosis or your child getting a diagnosis for a condition where there is no cure? I want you all to just take a second to reflect on what you're being a part of this afternoon. Because by coming together today, we are giving people hope for cures and we are working in our most vulnerable communities to save more lives.
And this is where you can make a difference. You can open your heart and make a gift today at a level that is meaningful for you. Every dollar has the power to change lives. Your gift can make an impact at every level. At the $500 level, a stroke is the number 5 killer in Michigan, with African American and Hispanic women being disproportionately affected by stroke. At this level, you can become a Circle of Red member. At $250, women make up 50% of the workforce, but less than 25% of STEM careers, which is why the AHA is committed to making a difference in women being represented in STEM careers and research. At the $130 level, it reminds us that 1 in 3 women will die from heart disease, and more women are experiencing heart attacks even younger. At the $56, 56% of Black women in the US suffer from hypertension, the highest rate for women in the world. We are so grateful for your support because by coming together, we are making history. You're making a difference in building healthy lives for all women. So please text to give, text 41444. You'll want to enter the phrase GR Go Red or mail a donation to the Grand Rapids address on the website. Or of course, by giving online to the website at heart.org/Grand Rapids Go Red and select donate.
Yes, and we appreciate it. And you know, I think that statement, one life lost is one too many, is so true because behind every number is a person with family and loved ones. So let's take a quick look at that thermometer again. We're up to 6,000, nearly 7,000, and they're rolling
That's
in.
amazing.
And we see some of the names of people who have donated. So I just want to
Penny
take a second
Wilton,
here to thank you all.
Lynn,
Lynn,
Ashley, thank you.
yes, Matthew, Henny, thank you all so much for your donations. And remember that any amount makes an impact. Doesn't matter how large or how small, it all goes towards a great cause. And we really truly appreciate each and every gift that you make today.
Every dollar counts. Remember, you can continue to make your gift at any time throughout the program and even after the program by going online to the website at heart.org/Grand Rapids Go Red and select donate.
Yes, so be sure to make a gift now or at any time during this program, everyone. And once again, we really appreciate it. All right, so we are, of course, thrilled to bring you this next national speaker. Dr. Michelle Elbert is the first woman president of the Association of Black Cardiologists. She's a professor in medicine, associate dean of admissions, director of the Nurture Center at the University of California, San Francisco. And Dr. Elbert is also a recipient of an American Heart Association's COVID-19 research grant. Please help us welcome Dr. Michelle Elbert.
Hi, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be with you today on this celebration of women and heart disease. My journey towards medicine and towards cardiovascular medicine specifically started a long time ago. Although I'm not that old, I got interested in medicine and cardiovascular medicine after the sudden death of my grandfather. I was raised by my grandparents, and one day, while at home, one of our neighbors came to advise us that my grandfather had collapsed. That was a very devastating experience for our entire family, but especially for myself and my sister. I was at the time 15 years old. It was actually a year before I came to the United States. I was born and raised until the age of 15 in Guyana in South America, which is in between Brazil and Venezuela. It is considered the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. That experience really was, as mentioned, pretty frightening, very devastating. I had already in school been thinking about how I could potentially direct my energies towards being involved more in science and public health. Because, as well, growing up in Guyana, I had a front row seat to poverty, to disadvantage, to poor healthcare, while at the same time, the desire for the population was to have all the things that others might have in their health and well-being, as well as finances. So I began to turn my energies towards thinking about pursuing a career in medicine, because to me, a career in medicine was one that could tie my interest in health, could honor my grandfather, as well as have potentially public health impact. I came to the United States and went to Brooklyn, New York, where my family still resides. In fact, Brooklyn at the time, with regards to walking through the streets of East Flatbush, which is where I had moved to, was not that different than being in parts of a third world country from which I'd come, except that there was a highway of access to certain opportunities. From there, I got recruited to University of California in San Francisco, where I now serve as a professor in medicine and the admissions dean for the medical school, which under a million years, I would have never thought that I would be the admissions dean for a top 3 medical school in the United States of America. That is not something that would have never have crossed my mind. Being able to help select, from a leadership perspective, the next generations of physicians, epidemiologists, public health folks who can and will make a difference globally is, I consider, extremely important. At UCSF, I also serve as the director of the Center for Study of Adversity and Cardiovascular Disease. The acronym is NURTURE Center. Our interdisciplinary center seeks to look at the interplay again of biology with social factors to again continue to elucidate cardiovascular risk, but most importantly, a large throughput of what we do is to think about and work on interventions for the most disadvantaged. In fact, I'm honored to have been selected for 3 HA awards recently. This was all recent. One is the 2018 Merit Award, which is given to 2 researchers across the country. In other work, another project that got funded this year was one of the recipients of the Fast Track COVID-19 Award from the American Heart Association. This is an extremely emotional award for me, because at the time that the call went out for the applications, my mother was hospitalized with COVID-19, and thinking to myself, and I was crying as I was trying to coordinate from San Francisco, getting her to a hospital in New York where I knew that she'd have a chance at survival. These are decisions none of us should have to make. I am one of the lucky ones in that my mother survived. The work and the project at the time, and ongoing now, is to examine the relationship COVID-19, socioeconomic factors, and cardiovascular outcomes in Black women. Black women often exist at the absolute worst intersection of social and economic factors, which put us at extremely high risk of continuing to be victims. However, we're a resilient bunch. And in my circumstance, God has put me and given me the opportunity to be able to work within the inner halls of medicine. But I also think about you and the message that I want to give to you, which are: one, know your numbers. And what we mean by know your numbers is know your cholesterol levels, know your blood pressure, know your hemoglobin A1C, which is a measure of control for diabetes over time. Know your weight, know your hip circumference, because these are all things and all factors that give you and give all of us a viewpoint into our heart health. And we know that recent research is showing several things. One, women, especially younger women, are less aware of their risk for heart disease. I take this heartfelt opportunity to wish all of you the very best and to literally beg you to continue to serve. So I thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to speak with you today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Albert. Let's all offer Dr. Albert a huge virtual applause for her story and her commitment.
Yes, that Now we are excited to announce Lynn Jarman Johnson, Chief Marketing Officer from Consumers Credit Union as the 2022 Grand Rapids Go Red for Women event. Welcome, Lynn.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lynn Jarman Johnson with Consumers Credit Union, and I am honored to be the 2022 chair for the Grand Rapids Go Red for Women initiative. I have three very close to my heart reasons for volunteering. My dad had his first heart attack at the age I am now. His dad died at 37 of heart failure. My dad, Papa, lived 10 more years following his diagnosis of congestive heart failure. And now that I'm known as Grandma J, the urgency of care and research seems even more important somehow. On the Johnson side of Jarman Johnson, my nephew Ben's heart stopped at 21. He fell to the floor and CPR from his girlfriend Emily, plus 4 shocks from EMTs, brought him back to life. Ben's family supports CPR training, and so do I, because Ben is alive today at age 23. Heartfelt gratitude to our American Heart Association for keeping a strong pulse on education, training, research. And finally, Consumers Credit Union is my family. Our partnership with American Heart Association beats strong with the passion of my colleagues' commitment to health, wellness, and equity. We're near the end of our program. There's been quite a lot of information to take in during this event. The American Heart Association is working to make sure that all women in West Michigan have the opportunity for a full, healthy life. Recently, the AHA announced the 2024 Impact Goal, which was strategically developed and is based on the latest science and data. Every person deserves the opportunity for a full, healthy life. As champions for health equity, by 2024, the American Heart Association will advance cardiovascular health for all, including identifying and removing barriers to health care access and quality. You'll see the 2024 goals have an even sharper focus on health equity. This is just an amazing statement from an organization that has been leading the way. You can be a part of this change. Be bold. Create opportunity even in challenging times. Fight for healthier lifestyles for ourselves and help build a healthier community for all. Next year, we hope to see you all in person again. I'd like to thank our See You Next Year sponsors for already committing to the 2022 Go Red program. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Consumers Credit Union, Metro Health University of Michigan Health, and the Metro Health Foundation for the Have Faith in Heart initiative, and our 2021 Circle of Red members. Thank you again, all of our volunteers and generous sponsors. Thank you for supporting our program. And thank you to everyone who gave in support of Go Red for Women today. Want to get more involved? Reach out to the American Heart Association, our American Heart Association team, and learn how you can be involved in 2022. I leave you with this final video.
My world, our world may keep changing, but I'm not going to let the days blur together anymore. This is my awakening. No backing down, no matter the obstacle. I stand for those who make up the fabric of my life, where I come from and where I'm going. I stand for my loved ones and for myself. My mission is to change the word challenge to opportunity. And my goal is to live without limitations. Let's make a declaration together. Our future has no boundaries, no limits, no ceilings. I'm opting in, signing up, and raising my voice. Today is the day I recommit to my shine, to reaching out and digging deep for inspiration, to shouting out loud when I need help and when I can give it, to ensure that all of our voices are heard and the person behind each voice is served. For myself, for my community, for our health, and for so much more. Because my promise is to live fierce every day. There's strength in possibility, strength in numbers, and new opportunities are going to keep on coming. With the American Heart Association by my side, I'm ready for them. Because we live fierce.
I love that. Thank you, everyone for your amazing support so that more women can live fierce.
Absolutely. Now, oh wow, let's take a look at that thermometer. Over
Wow.
8,000, 80, more than 80% of the way to our goal. Keep giving. Thank you so much, Kim, Elizabeth, Stephanie, Rhonda, Carol, Cam Plastics Corp. Everybody who's gotten us all the way up past $8,000. That's amazing. Remember, you can always go to heart.org/Grand Rapids Go Red to make that donation.
Absolutely, that's right. And I'm on my way to make a gift donation right after this. And we hope all of you are too that haven't done so already. And of course, everyone, we look forward to seeing all of you in person next.
Absolutely. That's it. That's a wrap. We done? Now we just have to dance, huh? I didn't look up any chair dancing videos. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. You're the best. I'm going to try to get outside and soak in some sunshine. That's in Grand Rapids. Had to trade in my fuzzy slippers for a pair of Timberlands. All right. I'm going to go check out the auction site. Those of you who are still with us, make sure to go to the auction site too. It's still live. Don't get outbid. All right, Margaret, just don't bid anything that I want.
Ooh. Those who are still with us, the links are in the chat right now to donate and the auction site. The incredibly generous American February day. Thank you for coming out. I think
think that's it. Morgan, this was fun. Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah.